Hi, it's Polly, and I have finally put together the video that I took at the 2024 New York Sheep and Wool Festival, most folks call Rhinebeck, and we had a great time. The weather was wonderful. There was so much to see. And when I say we, I mean my spinning team that I went with. We participated again for the second time in the fleece to shawl competitions, very much like a sheep to shawl competition, but we were able to wash our fleece beforehand. So we started with a bag full of clean fleece, and we had 3 hours to card, spin, and weave a shawl. And we did it. We got our shawl done in time, and we had it on the table to be judged just in the nick of time. But it was a lot of fun. It was very exciting. And I filmed the whole thing just from outside of our working area. Mostly you can just see the back of my head, but it's 3 hours compressed into 3 minutes. You watch the whole thing. You'll get to see what we came up with at the end. Or you can skip ahead if you want. But so you can see this is the rope drop on Saturday morning. The weather was beautiful and the lines were long, but it was very exciting. And if you get there early, you get to see everyone's Rhinebeck sweater and things that they've made just for the festival. And we went to the fleece sale bright and early. A lot of folks go to the fleece sale right away to try to get the fleeces that have been well judged, that have high scores. And there were so many bags of beautiful fleeces. And I don't know enough about them to be able to pick one without looking at the judging cards. I know which ones feel nice, and I can tell which ones have the longer staples. I tend to like the curls, but I enjoy also looking at where they come from and seeing the judging numbers that they've received. These are the curly Gotlins. See, it was bagged up just the way it came off the sheep, and here was another dark brown one. I was trying to decide between the two. I was very much swayed by the presentation of this one. You can see it's just so soft and lovely in there, and this one is nice and dark brown, very crimpy. I got them both and dropped them off at the coat check where you can leave your bulky bags, and walked, and there were so many, very, very many vendors. The barns are full of fiber animals of all kinds, every variety of sheep that you can imagine. I'm not a sheep expert, but I certainly enjoy visiting with them. And the weather was wonderful all weekend, so the lines were long. People stood out and waited for food. The food is terrific. And there are barns that are full of vendors, and also these buildings they're barn-like, but they have cement floors, and they are more of an official indoor space. There was wonderful yarn everywhere. And then we stayed over in the village of Rhinebeck, and we were able to walk to the fairgrounds, which was very convenient. And then on Sunday morning, we started to set up. So this is us in our roped off area. Our theme was gnomes. We get points for having a good team theme. And then we're underway. You can see that spinning wheel off to the left. We were spinning, and at this point I was still carding because I didn't have any yarn that was finished. We had to comb or card, spin, and then ply those singles into the plied yarn that I was weaving with. So then I'm starting to weave. At this point I was still trying my bobbin winder. My bobbin winder was not working well. I eventually gave up on it and ended up winding them by hand. And the announcer, who was the judge at the end of the competition, was asking the crowd to not ask us questions, to not distract us. And she asked them to bring their questions to her, which was very helpful because people are very curious, did have a lot of questions, and it was hard to not stop and chat with people, but we were definitely in a rush. We were hurrying, and it was fairly stressful. It was exciting, but it was a little bit stressful because there were other teams and they were working away beside us. You can see that bag that's on the ground, that's our fleece. That's what we're working from. So at this point I wasn't carding at all anymore. I was only weaving. And if I would run out of yarn to weave with, I would do a little bit here and there and just hand it off to the spinners. So the spinners' work it takes a lot longer than the weaving does. The weaving goes pretty quickly. And you can see we have a dyed warp on there that was also hand spun, but that was done in advance. And that also was a Romney fleece. That was the theme this year. All right, and here we are. We have the shawl off of the loom, and we're trying to tie the fringe off. We wanted to do a twisted fringe, but we just didn't have time. So we're trying to tie them all, and then we're waiting for judging. We're all wearing our gnome outfits. And that's our shawl. The judge is touching it right now. And we won 3rd place, and we won the blue ribbon for best use of color. And that's it. A good time was had by all.